Hi, this is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life. Hope all is well with you. Earth signs, this is the full moon view for November the 12th, 2019. November 12th, 2019, full moon. It is in Taurus. It is in 19 degrees of Taurus to be exact. Just to kind of give you an update or kind of fill you in on the full moon versus the new moon for those who are still kind of catching on and trying to figure out the lay of the land. Connecting to the moon really connects you to your feminine. It also connects you to your subconscious. It also connects you with your intuitive side or more of your intuitive nature. And so since Wooing Nature's purpose is to try to help you manage your life intuitively, you being in touch with yourself intuitively or in touch with your intuitive nature can be very helpful to you in your process and learning how to reconnect to the earth, how to reconnect to the stars, and to the star nations and to the sky nations as well. And so by doing that, we are putting ourselves in a position to be able to be moved by the spirit and also to be able to be in synchronicity with nature. And when you're in synchronicity with nature, then you have a tendency to be able to balance yourself more effectively and kind of get in tune and find your way in as well as find your way out pretty easily, fairly easily. So the full moon is a time when you're more or less completing projects. It's a time to think about the completion of things that you've started that you would like to finish, or if you have any goals that you are setting for yourself, that you're able to tap in and tap within in order to complete those goals, or just to make an assessment to see where you are in the completion of those goals. So the full moon and its degree, its sign, all of that, as well as the new moon, can help us put a focus, and that focus is usually just a couple of days long, but it's just a time to sort of re-energize and refocus yourself toward the goal that you're setting for yourself or toward some kind of personal goal. So what I'm doing here with the cards and with the astrology is, first of all, to let you know astrologically what's happening with the moon and how that could affect your sign. And then also to use the tarot or to use the oracle cards to kind of just get another level of intuitive focus for that particular sign. So we'll be talking about what's happening astrologically in general for earth signs, and then we're going to look at and break down each of the earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, and then Capricorn, and then see where it goes. So we'll be using cards, but we'll also be talking about the astrology as well. So I'm going to start off by talking about the astrology. So the astrology of the moment is that the moon is in Taurus. The full moon will be in Taurus on the 12th. And when the full moon is in Taurus, we have the feeling of wanting to be secure, wanting to be stable. And then we also, some of our sensual urges or our sexual urges can be aroused during that time. This is not a knock over the head. This is usually an urge. It's something that you have an impulse about, or a feeling or a gut feeling around, that is then stimulating or moving you in one way or the other. Okay, so the moon is in 19 degrees of Taurus. Specifically at 19 degrees, we are motivated by stability and comfort. We're looking at the sensual pleasures, what brings us peace, what brings us serenity, and then also we may be focused on our wealth. We may be focused on money or the things that we value the most. Giving and receiving is something that you will want to focus on during this time, particularly where it involves pleasure and the things that bring you pleasure. So you're giving pleasure, and then you're looking at receiving that pleasure as well. So in general, that's what the full moon being in Taurus is all about. Now, if you are a Taurus, in earth signs, Taurus is the one that starts the ball rolling, I'm going to say, for the earth signs. Taurus, because the moon is in your sign, you may be feeling this energy a little bit more. Some of your general Taurus nature, the need to feel secure and stable, to have things, the things that comfort you around you at that time, you may be feeling that a little bit more than everybody else, or you may feel it more intensely than everybody else. Also, because the moon is in an earth sign, other earth signs may feel that as well, to a greater or lesser degree than Taurus, but still, it's a grounding type of energy, and usually earth signs enjoy feeling grounded, feeling safe, and feeling secure. So for you, this full moon time may be a time that you feel relaxed and you feel like you can enjoy yourself, and just to kind of put your hands and put your feet and put your feelers out for the things that make you feel good on the inside. More getting a little more specific here, and I'm looking at my notes that I've taken. It says that, change is happening. So there is a major change happening in general. That change is being ushered in by Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, also in an earth sign. But there is, in general, for everybody, the air of change, the winds of change are happening. And then when the winds of change are happening, earth signs, and particularly that Taurus moon, wants everything to be stable, wants it to be calm, and wants things to kind of be secure. But right now, they're just not. So how do you manage that? How do you manage that intuitively? Well, the thing is to know that every change that's happening is there to usher in a higher level of self-actualization and realization for yourself. And so those changes that are happening are there to elevate you, to take you to another level, to make the necessary changes for your soul purpose, or for your career purpose, or for your relationship purpose, whatever it is. It's all a part of the greater good of you, right? And so whenever that is happening, there are the unseen forces, or the spirits, or the guides, or your ancestors, or God, angels, assembly, all of them who are conspiring with you toward making that self-actualization happen. So if you are feeling insecure or unstable about the changes that are taking place, then the best thing to do is to just remember that you're not alone, that the winds of change that are happening to blow you to a better place energetically, and also to get you to a higher level of operation. And when you get to a higher level of operation, then there are some things that are going to be a little easier for you to manage, or you might begin to see how to manage things a little more easily, or a little more simply, or a little more efficiently. Okay. Usually these messages from spirit come through metaphorically, especially because we're talking about the moon, and the moon does not communicate directly. It's not like the sun. The sun energy is direct. It's masculine, so it's outward and expressive and open and clear and that kind of thing. Because the energy is coming in through the moon energy is more about subtle urges, subtle messages, and then, of course, symbolic messages. So if you have just gotten through a big change, or if you've just had a major breakthrough happen in your life, what you want to do is then start paying attention to the symbols and the signs that are coming through. It could come through music. It could come through, I don't know, a particular kind of bird or animal that shows up for you consistently over the next few weeks or so. It could come from a friend, or it could come from an enemy. It could be a message that comes through loud and clear for you that says, hey, I hear you. I know that message is for me. It resonates with me, and I need to be paying close attention, or I need to pay attention there, or pay attention in that particular situation. So you want to be mindful during this full moon to look for any of those messages, particularly if you've just had a breakthrough, or particularly if you've just gone through a major change, an obvious major change. Okay. All right, so in combination with the moon energy that is happening and how the moon is moving, it is in opposition to the sun. The sun's energy is in Scorpio, also in 19 degrees, and it's talking about faith being the big liberator. And when we exercise our faith, then the veil is lifted, and then we can see things that we weren't able to see before. So I feel like that goes right along with the moon and the sun right now, because again, you're listening for signs and symbols from the universe while the veil is being lifted, while you are while new things are being revealed about yourself and about the situations around you, being able to pay attention to the signs and the symbols that are coming through for you, and then being able to act upon them. So this full moon, more than anything, is about exercising your faith, using your faith, and then listening and being aware of the symbols and the signs that are coming through from Spirit to guide you and to protect you, or to lead you to the thing that makes the most sense for you, or the thing that you've been looking for. So you also want to get in touch with your intentions, the way that your intentionality and how the things that you've intended, the goals that you've set for yourself in the past. For some of you, these are year-long goals. Some of you, there may be 5-year goals involved, or it may just be a goal that you set for yourself last month. Wherever you are in that process, it's a time for you to stop, take notice, listen for the messages, and then also pay attention to the changes that are taking place as well. It's all about freeing yourself, but it's also about being able to handle the balance between total freedom and total restriction. So you don't want to restrain or restrict yourself. You want to get in touch with the things that bring you joy and bring you pleasure, but then at the same time you want to also be able to balance those spiritually. So there's this physical aspect of being in the world and what gives you comfort and pleasure, and then there's the spiritual aspect of it, which goes along with it. All of those things have to be together. There has to be a balance between the two. One of the interesting things that came out of this study for me is this idea that if you let me see if I can find it here. Okay, it says too much worldly focus and we stagnate the flow of spirit. Too much spiritual liberation and we float on the surface of reality. So you can have all of your mind on things of a spiritual nature and really be, kind of airheaded, some people would say. But then if you're too focused on things that are just in the material, then you stop the flow of energy. So everything is about balance. In life, if you want to be in health, you want to be in balance. If you are looking at yourself spiritually, if you're looking at where you need to be energetically, if you're looking at balancing yourself in relationship to the stars or the earth or whatever, it's still about balance and how that balance then affects you. You're looking at you are again paying attention to what you have been focused on. You are paying attention to the messages that are coming through, and you're paying attention to the way that your faith walk has opened some new doors for you. So I just feel like it's really a positive time to be listening and paying attention for what's next. It's a really good time for paying attention to what's next, Earth signs. All right, so I pulled from Colette Baron Reed the Enchanted Map Oracle for you all. I've pulled a card for both, for all three, for Taurus and for Virgo and for Capricorn. So we'll take each one of these one by one and see where we end up, okay? All right, so for the Taurus people, I have Wide Open. Wide Open is card number 42, which breaks down to a 6. 6 is about family, but it's also about being ready for new ideas and being ready for new things to come through for you. So it's saying for you to be open and to be wide open. Anything can happen. And because you have put in the work, because you have made the climb, at this point, all you need to do is wait for Spirit to deliver on what it is that you have already asked for. That ties right in to that full moon perspective, because what the full moon is saying is to listen, to pay attention, to see where your faith has brought you so far. And your faith has brought you to this point, and if you've gotten to this point, you can keep going, right? It may not always look like there's any place to go. It may look like you're getting ready to step off of this precipice into something else, but no worries, because guess what? Spirit has heard from you and um, has is answering your prayers and is answering your request. All right, so I'm going to go to the tarot here just to get a little more clarification for you, Taurus. All right, let's see. All right, so that message, Taurus, about connecting to your sensuality and your sexuality that I said before is going to also tie into this message for you about being open. I don't know if there may be a relationship that you're in and you may be exploring the possibilities of the relationship, and getting in touch with your sensual nature is very important. The moon does have is trine with Saturn, and Saturn is in the 16th degree of Capricorn, and in the 16th degree of Capricorn, it talks about not repressing your sexual desires or your sexual needs, not repressing them. And so I'm getting that in this cup, that it's like getting a handle on things of an emotional nature, which could also include your feelings towards another person. And really not wavering about that, but being clear about what it is that you want physically in the relationship. It could also be emotionally as well. So it could be about what you want emotionally in the relationship, but it could also be about, feeling good in the relationship too. I'm getting the death in reverse for you, also Tauruses, which means there's some kind of starting over, or there's a new beginning, or there's a new chapter in the book. I think that the new chapter for you is going to be fueled, and is going to be fueled by you getting in touch with that emotional side of yourself and really asking yourself, what do I want in my relationship? What do I want emotionally? What do I want sexually? What do I want financially? You can look at all of it, but I think that this is really more or less about the emotional side of it, and how you feel, how you get that emotional connection from another person. If you're starting again, like if you've just finished a relationship with somebody and now you're thinking about starting a new relationship, then I would say to do this homework first. Because when you do this homework, then what you're doing is going into the relationship with more clarity about what you want and what you desire and what you are and are not going to tolerate in the relationship. And that's a part of starting over. It's not just ending one relationship and going into another one. It's about ending the relationship, taking time to make an assessment, a personal assessment, and then giving yourself the opportunity to experience the other relationship with a new set of eyes. Or if you're going into a new relationship, it'll allow you to see that to see yourself in it. Because a lot of times the reason why we keep having these repeat offenses, I call them repeat offenses in relationships, is because we ourselves have not done the inner work required to move on to the next set of lessons. So you end up getting the same person over and over and over again, or having the same battle all over again. And you don't want to have that same battle. You want to go on to something new challenges, new experiences, and everything else. So take that opportunity, this opportunity during the full moon, Taurus, is to just really align what your desires are, what your feelings, what feels good for you, what makes sense for you, and what makes you feel secure in a relationship, and then also what turns you on sexually. Honestly, it's not one-sided here. Yes, you can talk about your emotional self and your sexual self in the same sentence. You're all one, right? And all of it goes together. So we don't want to ignore any of that. And again, with that trine between the moon and Capricorn, and Saturn, I'm sorry, in Capricorn, it's about dealing with sexual repression, or or repression of the sexual desires. And so wherever you may have been repressing that in a relationship or inside of yourself, get in touch with that, and then also think about what gives you pleasure, what makes you happy. Okay, I'm not getting any other cards for you, Taurus, so we're going to move right along to Virgo. Virgo, the card that I got for you is the card number 44, which is strength. It talks about needing some strength right now. And so I feel like those messages that are coming through the moon in Taurus are really about you gaining the right kind of strength to balance your life out the way that you need to. As you can see, there's clearly a need for balance here. She's got one leg out and trying to hold the world in one hand. I would also caution against that as well. Don't try to take on too much, Virgos, right now. Taurus wants you to relax. The Taurus energy wants you to relax. And to find strength in that, because you can gain strength by continuing to fight and fight and fight. That builds the muscle, but the muscle also has to rest in order for it to be able to take more pressure. I'm not saying take more pressure, Virgo, but what I'm saying is there's a time for you to gain strength by not doing as opposed to doing, and trying to battle, trying to gain physical strength or emotional strength by doing. Sometimes you have to do that by relaxing, and this Taurus moon really wants that. It's about security, it's about safety and all of that kind of stuff, but it's also about just comfort and being comforted and what makes you feel comfortable. So you'll want to be listening for that. Okay, I'm definitely getting here with the Seven of Swords to be mindful of the energy that you're consuming or the energy that you're taking on. I'm getting that in both these cards, actually. I'm seeing you trying to carry the weight of the world in one hand, and then I'm seeing you carrying this burden, almost trying to, it looks like somebody's trying to get away with something. I know the Seven of Swords normally is about people who are taking or who are deceptive in some way, but in a lot of ways it can just be energetic deception or energetic leaks, or it could be somebody draining your energy force, or and doing that mentally or doing that through the mind. So you want to just be mindful about that and pay attention to that, because once again, we're talking about energy, and we're talking about the energy of the moon, and we're talking about needing, when you need help, or when there are messages that are coming through about the help that you need, that are coming from your spiritual helpers, that are coming from your ancestors, that are coming from the angels, that are coming from the Creator. So it looks like to me that this is where this assistance is needed. If you're starting to see changes in your relationships, changes in your job, changes in your circumstances, living situation, and all of that, it is more or less to get you removed from these kinds of things that are going to draw energy from you instead of giving you the energy that you need. And right now, it looks like you're needing some strength. You definitely don't need somebody else in that space. I'm sorry, you definitely are not wanting people to be in your space draining you. So be on the listen out. Be on the listen out for any messages that you may be getting about people around you, or energy being used around you, or people using your energy. I've got the Queen of Swords 2 in this position. Queen of Swords for me is always like a take care of your business type card. If you are not taking care of your business, if you're not sharp and on point and paying close attention, then you want to do that at this time, Virgo. I think that's very clear to me right now, especially with that strength card and the number 44. The card is the number 44, and the number 44 is about building. It's a building number. It's building, not just building anything, but it's building from a spiritual base. And it's growth. It represents a level of growth. And so once you get to that level, then you may, new level, new devil. That's what happens sometimes. So it's just making you sharper It's making you more clear. The other thing about the Queen of Swords is that she's known for her ability to discern, being very discerning about what's going on and who's around you. And again, the moon energy that's coming through is going to give you these little urges. It's going to send you these little messages. So be on the listen. Have your ears peeled. Have your nose to the grindstone and your shoulder to the wheel and your ear to the ground and your finger on the pulse, so that you can hear and you can see and you won't be lost, or you won't feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder. Yeah, I am getting here with this card, the Two of Wands. There's an opening. There's an opening that's trying to come, but you're going to have to get a handle on this. You got to get a handle on this. Is what I'm feeling. You have to get a handle on that first, and then the rest will kind of come through for you. So your message and what you're listening for is something that's going to help to strengthen you. It's going to help get rid of, or help you to remove yourself from the people and the situations that are more or less taking energy from you rather than giving it to you. It'll make you more aware of that. Thank you. All right, and then also I'm getting that that's going to put you in your Queen of Pentacles space, which is about, it's very Taurus. Queen of Pentacles is very Taurus because it's about having your creature comforts, your home in order, the things that make you feel comforted and secure in place. Okay. All right, moving right along to Capricorn. Capricorn, we've got the Spirit of Place for you. Spirit of Place is about your surroundings, your home environment, where you live, where you find yourself, where you spend most of your time. Especially because the moon is in Taurus. Taurus is like their environment to be to their liking. So this is about environment. It's about your actual physical space. So if any of you all are thinking about moving, or you feel like you need to make some adjustments to your home environment, then this may be a very good time for you to start doing that. Rearranging furniture, changing the aesthetics in the space, maybe rearranging like I said, rearranging furniture, putting things where they are more comfortable for you, so that you can so that your environment is the way that it needs to be, so that you can be relaxed in it. I'm thinking this is more or less about your home. When you come off of the street, you need to be able to have a sanctuary. Your sanctuary of your home represents the sanctuary of yourself. So when you come away from the world, when you come into your home space, then that home space should be a reflection of you, in the sense that it's a reflection of how you are in your most peaceful state. I hope that makes sense. All right, so we got Spirit of Place here with the King of Wands. It looks like, there may be some people around you that want to help you, or that are looking to help you. You may not be aware of them, but it looks like they are there. They're watching, sort of paying attention to you and what you're doing. You want to be open to receive, though. You definitely want to be open to receive this, because sometimes if you kind of take on the air that you got it all figured out, then people won't come and help you, or they won't offer. Don't be afraid to be a little more vulnerable, Capricorns, in this situation. If you're really trying to get relocated, or if you're trying to move to something else, or it could be a job, or it could be home. But if you're trying to get moved, then be open. Like, don't give off that air like you have it all together. That's what I'm saying. Let people know that you're looking. Let people know where you are, so that they can share with you, because they may have the very information that they need. They're just not sure that you need it. So make sure you let people know what you're looking for and what your needs are. speak about it, open up about it. All right, is there anything else for Capricorns? Anything else for Capricorn, for the Spirit of placing for November? Okay, yeah, we got the Four of Wands in reverse. It seems like there's a lot of things on your plate or a lot of things on your mind. There's a lot of things on your plate and also could be a lot of things on your mind. You want to take some of that off, but the best way to do that is to take one thing off at a time. Take one thing off at a time. And then also examine what you put out there, because you may find out that some of these things that you've written, like in my mind, what I'm seeing is like you've written down all these things that you want or all these things that you desire. You may need to go back and examine them, say, is this really what I'm needing and wanting right now? Right? These may be things that I want down the line, but what do I need right now? And focus on that, manifesting that at this time. I've got the Seven of Wands in reverse. Seven of Wands in reverse to me is like taking a pause, taking a moment to think about what's next, taking a pause, taking a moment, and really organizing in your mind what it is that you're looking for and what you're searching for, because the clearer you are about it, meaning you take some of these post-it notes off the wall, right? The more clear that you are about what it is that you're looking for, it'll be easier for you to articulate it to those around you. So just take a pause, take a moment, and in the process of trying to figure it out, take a pause and take a moment and be clear, be very clear about what's coming. And again, because of that Moon and Taurus energy coming in to stabilize and to clarify, just be on the listen out. Be on the listen out. But before you be on the listen out, make sure you say. So use that time on the 12th to articulate. Hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm needing. I'm trying to make this move, or I'm trying to do more of this, or I need a space that is more conducive to this. And then let other people start looking for you, because you're not by yourself. And then I got the Three of Cups here, which to me tells me that that things are coming together, that the energies are conspiring for your greater good and for your transition. This is a time of change, folks. So the time of change is just there. Don't try to fight it. It's no need in fighting it. In fact, the best thing to do is to go with the flow, because when you're going with the flow, then those messages can come through very quickly. Take deep breaths. Spend time in nature. Relax. Taurus wants you to relax. The Taurus moon wants you to relax and feel good about where you are. Don't forget to spend a little time focusing on what brings you pleasure, what brings you joy, and not judging that, because that's going to have an impact later on and down the road. Okay? All right, so this has been your full moon view for November 12th, 2019. I hope that if you need anything at all, or if there's other information or other ways that you would like to manage your life intuitively, feel free to reach out to me. I'm at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. And then, of course, you can find us at wooingnature.life on Facebook and Instagram at wooingnature. And please continue to subscribe and listen and view and share the videos with other earth signs, or when the other signs come up or the other elements come up, make sure you share those with your friends as well, so they can know how to get connected. All right, I hope you have a great November. I hope you have a great full moon, and I hope you're having a wonderful life.